because it's the start of the season, people are kind of flexing their muscles a little bit, working out what the meta is. I think we've seen a giant shift away from goats in general, and a map like Lighthouse, it's a little bit more open to certain picks, and Reaper's one of those pocket picks that you can maybe pull out once or twice. The Reaper goats or roats. There's certain maps where you can potentially try it. We've seen it a lot in past seasons, and it's had like subpar success. But we wanted to give it a go, and we felt Lighthouse was a good opportunity. So in our group, I think the biggest two competitive names would be Revival and XL2 Academy. XL2 have had some really great pickups, in my opinion. Their DPS lineup looks really strong. And Revival is still Mayhem Academy, just, minus one or two players, but I think the pivotal core is still there in Revival. So even though the current standings don't reflect that, I still think they'll be a top tier team by the end, just because of the skill of the players. I think it's important to not underestimate the Trials teams coming up. A lot of them have already shown like a great boon and great success, but I think those are the two names we're looking at the most. Most of the players on Team Envy were familiar with Lullsish's playstyle, communication from past experiences, past tryouts with the team in general, and it was a big boost to us that Ellie was super confident playing alongside him, and their synergy from past teams together, their friendship, etc. Was basically just a bonus for us. We were really excited to work with him, and for the most part, we'd seen how successful AT was over in Europe, and we just thought it'd be a great addition overall. I think speculation's interesting on the 2-2-2 lock. It has positive and negative impacts overall. Some of the positive ones include, we get to see some of our favorite heroes come back. We could see Genji finally get like the revival he needs. We get to see potentially like some of the star players come out, like the Widow players coming back into glory. But I think some of the negatives include the idea that basically we've had DPS players sat on heroes like Zarya and like Brig for basically a year straight because this meta was so dominant, and this 2-2-2 lock kind of forces their careers into a weird position because all of that experience just completely vanishes. They will never play those heroes again. So I think that's a little bit concerning, but overall, hopefully we see like a great boon in all these other more entertaining heroes. I think the compositions will be really interesting, and some of the smarter coaches and smarter teams will be able to actually experiment with dealing things. If we see Genji dive become dominant, maybe teams can run Lucio Brig and maybe like throw in a Roadhog or something to deal with it. Vice versa, we might see Hanzo Zarya come back. Ryan in 2-2-2 is an interesting hero because he doesn't have all the support and heals like he gets in Goats, so we'll see where he stands. But overall, I think it will have good impact. Team Envy definitely have their eyes set on the Gauntlet. That's obviously our end goal for this season, and the most important aspect of this season. And going into the global competition, I think everyone has their eyes on the strength of Korea in general. For us, seeing how Fusion Uni do over in Korea, seeing like their placements, how well they match up against some of the strongest teams like Runaway, is a pretty strong indicator, because we personally felt like we were the closest team to Fusion Uni's strength. We were on their heels in the grand final, and even though we didn't get like the scoreline we wanted, we still felt like it was an incredibly competitive match. And seeing how they do in Korea during the regular season will give us like a great indication of how strong that region is as a whole. And I think for every team, for every player in Europe and NA, that chance to kind of showcase yourself against a team like Runaway, even a team like O2 Blast, and keep up with them, potentially even win in a LAN environment, is basically like every tier 2 player's like end goal in terms of like career boosts.